I'm Dan Galusha and welcome to another edition of Shootin' Plink. Today we've got one of my favorite rifles back with me. This is the one that started Shootin' Plink. That's right, it's the Henry Frontier, the 20-inch barrel. But we've got something different with this. You know how I like Skinner Peep sights, and they have got, as you know, these rifles come with the Rimfire rail on them so that you can put any sort of a sight that you want. You don't have to use open iron sights. In fact, you'll notice this one, the rear one, is gone, and I have put in one of these dovetail covers because I have mounted a Skinner Peep sight on it, the Rimfire ones. Here it is right here. We shot this too on the Browning BL-22, but here it is mounted on here. I have not had to adjust this at all for windage. Sometimes you have to take and change the front sight when you put a Peep sight on, and that's just normal because of with any gun. And this one, its original bead sight, seems like it works pretty good. And what we're going to do today, and I'll move out of the way, we've got our plinking bottles back, our AR 500 plinking bottles that are put out by Make It Ring, and we've also got our bullseye up there. And what I've done is I've taken one of those paper stick-ons and put it right in the middle so we can see just how well this works. Now, before, I've blown it off with other things. I did that just recently with another video where I was shooting the Browning BL-22 with a Tasco scope on it, and I mean it hit the center. You can see that, and that's what's nice about this. It kind of shows you, even though that is such a small opening, that you know if you're doing it, this thing's on. And we'll just see how this works. I mean, when I tried it out, it worked pretty good, and I'll be moving back here. I'm going to load it up with 10 rounds of CCI, and then we're going to shoot at those plinking targets and shoot at the others and just see what the devil goes on here. So stay with us. I'm going to load it up and then we're going to start shooting. Alright, as I always do, I zoomed you in on this. We'll put our first round in here, and then we're going to start shooting. Let me move back here a little bit and we'll have at it. Okay, you see it as it happened. I can see I hit that. Let's go up there and take a little bit closer look at that. Or at least you're seeing a closer look. I'm going to go up there with you. Alright, looking at this, to me, it definitely hit down here, but there's several rounds that hit right in the middle, very close to the center, it looks like, into here. And as I said, you've seen it as it was going, but I'm looking at these plinking bottles, and they hit right, and I can tell where they hit. It hit right here on this one, and pretty much everyone's got a mark just about where that's at. And here's some more right there, just about the same spot. Now, how do I know? That's something I'm going to tell you about here. They're shinier. These others are older. These are shinier, and that shows me. Here's one here even. This one is just direct center. And that's just the level that I was firing, right across here. I was aiming, putting that Peep sight right on there. And that's just where they hit. That's how good this thing is. And like I said, well, every one of them hit this little 3-inch area, because that's a 3-inch piece of paper. That is actually on the back of this. This is a 4-inch plate, but there's an inch of it gone. So actually, you've only got 3 inches to shoot at in here. So that's one reason I use this. It's to show me how good a gun is actually shooting on this, and by putting that paper on there, I can see where it hits. And it looks to me like it definitely, in fact, I can see the shiny spots right here. There's one, two, they're right there in the center. There's another one right over here, one there. So yeah, that was pretty good, and I just was kind of wavering up and down with it to see just where I wanted to place that shot on there. Because like I said, I really haven't shot this with this Peep. And it shows you right there. Let me get around here. I don't need to be back in this pit all the time. Okay, I got out of the pit. I didn't want to be in there all the time talking to you, because you can see what I was doing here anyway. But I did want to show you this. Oh, and I also got something else that I want to show you. This is something that if it happens to you with your Henrys, and this is all of them that have the tube magazine like this, well, there is a bit of a problem that can happen, and I'll show you. Up here, right up here in the front, in fact, I'm going to push it, there. Right here, you will notice that there's like there is a rubber washer. Those will come off. I've had two of them come off with them in the gun case. Well, how I discovered it was, in fact, it was on this gun. I went to just take it out, and what have it, all of a sudden my tube just comes right out. And the insert, the follower, it just came right out of the tube. Well, what's wrong? Put it back in, and it's just not fitting right. Well, then think about that rubber washer. That thing had actually either deteriorated or been maybe cut from going back and forth like this. So what I did is I found some rubber washers, and I worked them from this end. In fact, I'll show you. Don't try to put them over this end, because you're just going to break them. You slide them over here, and you pretty much got to roll them up. In fact, if you can lubricate them just a little bit with something, just roll it up there, and it'll stick right in there, and it holds. And as you can see, this one just does fine now, just like the original. There, you can even hear it lock in place. So, you know, there's that's anyway, that's a tip for you. If that happens to you, that's all you got to do. Just find some of these small washers, put that on, and it works fine. But we're talking about this Skinner Peep sight, and I'm very impressed with this. If you've got a rimfire rifle that hasn't been drilled and tapped to have one of these mounted on it, and of course you have this rail, you can get one of these from Skinner and do it yourself. You don't have to send the receiver covering that. You can actually put one on just like this. It's got the same adjustments, and we'll go through that right here on the top, and you can also put in the apertures. There's 5 different ones that you can get for that. These little things right here are the apertures. You can unscrew them and put them back in. Alright, you have to, say, raise the elevation. You just loosen this little screw right here, unscrew it, raise it up, and if you have to lower it, do it the opposite way, put the screw back, and don't worry about it if all of a sudden it's this way, because these apertures will screw in either direction, makes no difference. This one keeps loosening up for some reason, and right here, if you got to adjust your windage back and forth this way, there's a set screw right on top. And the Allen wrenches come with this, by the way. But you can see there's a set screw right on top. Just loosen that. Slide this back and forth. I mean, it's not all that easy. Get out your Henry brass hammer and punch, because they've got those available through the Henry Pride store. And that's what I've got. And I'm sure you can find them otherwise, too. They're available. But I just happen to have the Henry one. And just tap that little bit at a time to adjust it. In this case, as you can see, it has not had to been adjusted. Didn't even have to adjust this. It matched up perfectly with the regular OEM bead sight that's on the front. And I would say it did pretty good. You can see I knocked those bottles off. I put the rounds right down into the center of that target. Like I said, that's a 3-inch circle. And they landed in the middle. So what more do you want out of it, huh? I like this rifle anyway, but with this Skinner Peep sight, man, she's really good. So until next time, shoot safe and have a great day of plinking.